Welcome back, my beautiful listening audience. Thank you so much for downloading our content and sharing it around, which I know you do, because if you weren't doing it, the audience wouldn't be growing the way that it is. And I'm super, super happy about that. Very thankful, very proud. And if you were not aware, we do have two other Noggin Notes podcasts now. One is out of Africa and the other is out of Cambodia. Tai Pishmoni does the Cambodian podcast and Kembo Kiala does the African podcast, and both are wonderful gentlemen who are absolute scholars, and they have amazing guests on talking about mental wellness around the world. It's really, really cool. So check out the Noggin Notes Cambodia and Noggin Notes Africa podcasts if you wish. If you like this stuff, you'll definitely like theirs. My interview today is with Adam Sikorsky and Angel Littlefield. Angel is a clinical professional counselor intern here at Zephyr. Adam is a financial advisor up in Alaska, both of whom have been on the show before, but now they're here together talking about app dating because they have some pretty deep experience with that, and they're going to share their insights with you guys. I was very, very impressed. I just sat back and listened. I think I did less talking on this podcast than I did on any other podcast prior. So I'm always humbled and honored by our guests to, be a part of when they share stuff with the audience. And I always learn something, and I know you will too. We figured it's good timing coming up on Valentine's Day here, and around the time that people get frustrated about their lack of romance or whatever, and especially during a pandemic when we're either, locked down by forced or choose to be socially isolated. People get lonely and they turn to the internet and they turn to apps to connect. And so we want to be aware of some of the risks out there, but also acknowledge some of the benefits. So I hope we do that with this show. In the meantime, check out our sponsors, Zephyr Wellness, which is my company. We have a growing YouTube channel. You can subscribe and follow us there, or on Instagram or on Facebook, where you can also see the same videos if you're on the other platforms. Alongside that, we also are sponsored by Audible. Go to audibletrial.com/nogginnotes, get a free 30-day trial, free audiobook download, keep the download if you cancel the trial, and that's pretty much it. We invite you to continue listening, check in on your mental wellness, take a free and anonymous mental health screening from our partner organization, Walk the Talk America. WTTA.org/love is where you can get a free and anonymous mental health screening. Make sure that your head engine is running well and the belts and hoses are tight. Thanks again. This is my interview with Adam and Angel talking about app dating. Enjoy. Welcome, Angel Littlefield and Adam Sikorsky. You have both actually been on this show before, but individually, and now you're here collectively. Say hi.
Hi.
Hey.
Thrilling, I'm sure.
Hi.
So it was Angel's idea to come onto the program and talk about app dating, because you're a single woman in a modern world. And Adam and I have been friends for many years, 20-ish or something, more than that. And I know that you also have been in the app dating realm for quite some time. So when you introduce yourselves, talk a little bit about like what you do professionally, and then what age group you might be in, and then discuss geography, and we'll just go from there. Because I'm totally ignorant to this. I've been married since 2011, in the same relationship since 2010. And it all exploded after that for the most part. So I'm going to learn too. So Angel, you go first. It was your idea.
All right. So I am Angel. I work here at Zephyr as a clinical professional counseling intern. I am 38. I don't mind saying my age.
Oh, you wrinkled your face like you weren't sure.
I believe last time I checked. What else?
Any other demography? And also, you live here in Northern Nevada.
Yep. I live in Northern Nevada. I am a single mom.
Fair enough. How old are your kids?
My daughter is 14 and my son is 4.
Okay. That's probably good to start with, so people can get an idea of what's going on. Adam, you're up.
Yeah, my name is Adam Sikorsky. I'm an independent financial advisor. I live in Anchorage, Alaska. I'm 40 years old. I recently announced that at some group meeting, and someone said, "Well, what do you self-identify as?" I said, "Well, math and science say I'm 40, so I'm 40."
Well,
I think it was Young Professionals Networking Group, and I was like, "I'm too old to be here." I've aged out. I've been part of the group for a while. I was like, I've aged out. I'm 40. I think the cap is 39. They're like, well, what do you self-identify as? I was like, math and science say I'm 40, so I'm 40. But I don't get to choose that.
my belief in my head is that I'm perpetually stuck at 26, and I'm going to stick with that. So, all right. So let's talk about this. You're both single for all intent and purpose. I know, Adam, you're in a committed relationship now, but it wasn't that way for some time, and I don't know how much you want to go into gory personal details, but it's been entertaining to say the least when you both bellyache to me about and you do about your struggles and foibles over this whole thing. But Angel's concern, I think, was more about like what's it doing to us, right? Like on a psychological level, on a social level. I know Adam's, you've got some opinions about that too. So I think I'd rather just sit back and let you guys talk, because I don't know where to even start with this. Maybe start with the artificiality of the struggle, but there's also some benefits, I think, built in. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword. So Angel, how did you get into online dating or the dating app world?
I became single.
Shocking.
Weird.
Myself as well.
Strange. It'd been a while since I had been single, and I was a single mother, and I didn't really, my life usually revolved around work and kids and grad school. And so to go out and meet people was very difficult, and I didn't even know how to do it besides bars, which is not necessarily what I wanted to do anymore. So and honestly, in the beginning, it was very hard to transition from being in a relationship with somebody that I had, a child with, to going into the dating world again. And so it started out with just honestly wanting compliments and just somebody to tell me I'm pretty and have a nice conversation with somebody, and then developed into more.
Gotcha.
What about you, sir?
I was married for quite some time, and then that failed. And so as that was ending, I was kind of focused on my individual life, building up my professional practice and those things. And, when you're married, I spent 11 years with my ex-wife from the day we started dating to the day it all was over. And, I think there's a desire for communion and connection with people that's hardwired in everybody. And so when I got to the point where I definitely wasn't ready for a long-term relationship, but I was ready to begin dipping my toe in the water, and seeing who was out there. And, you take an 11-year break from meeting people with the idea that you're going to pursue them romantically. I had to relearn that, like skiing for the first time in 11 years after breaking your leg, or something like that. And so, when I met my ex-wife, dating apps weren't a thing. Online dating was just emerging as not being creepy. Match.com and eHarmony and all those things were trying to come up with algorithms that got people to connect and make it a normal way to meet. Dating apps didn't exist. And so it was this new thing that emerged that sort of everyone was on. And, all my friends were encouraging me to get on them and, go meet women and do these things. And they were encouraging me to meet women for the wrong reasons. And they weren't, that wasn't my, they wanted me to have a lot of one night stands and sort of wipe my past clean, or, use that as a numbing agent. And I was like, well, that's not really me. It's not why I'd do that. And so, eventually, I warmed up to it, because my sister mentioned that she was on one. And so my sister is a fairly moral individual. And so I was like, okay, well, if you're on dating apps, then it may not be what I think it is. So let me go at least see what it is and then figure it out from there, whether or not it's for me or not. And so that was what, 2.5. Well, I've been divorced 2.5 years. So, maybe a year and a half ago, that I sort of started to sort of like see what was out there, and have had a variety of experiences, I'll just say.
Yeah, I definitely get that. I think it's interesting too, though, because I am curious of the guy's perspective of it, because I know that as a woman going into that, the approach that you get is often not what you expect. So, you have your little bio and your little, okay, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I want. And even if it says long-term relationship, let's just say it's very interesting what you get when you first open up that chat conversation.
So you're saying
inappropriateness is what you get.
People are not necessarily representing themselves accurately.
Yeah, well,
on the internet, I don't believe it.
What? Well, I'm talking more inappropriate. Like they won't even say hi and will send pictures that they should not be sending.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So decorum is just out the window?
Yeah.
That would make me really gun shy.
And it is.
Huh. Okay.
So it's interesting to see. So I think everybody puts up different profiles for different reasons. Mm-hmm. It's fascinating to me. It's fascinating to see what people put up and why and how they present themselves. Like you said, the messages that women get are quite different, I think, than the messages that men get. I've never, been solicited for a dick pic or anything like that out the gate. Or I don't think at all, actually. And if they did, that would be an instant block, I would disassociate from that pretty quickly.
Well, and there's some though, they put it that way. So there's certain things that I teach people, whether it's like friends that are coming to me because I did it for a long time, or like clients or whatever, is I'm like, pay attention to the pictures that they're putting up. Pay attention to the bio. Pay attention to what they're saying. What is your intuition saying about this? Because I'll tell you what, if I see a guy that all of his pictures are shirtless or he's with, a whole bunch of things, I have a pretty good idea what he's looking for, which is fine if that's on the same line of what you're looking for also.
Because there absolutely are women who that's what they're looking for.
Yeah.
They're looking for a topless guy to hook up with, and they're not looking for a relationship. And that's what's interesting about it, in sort of going into it as when I first, downloaded a dating app, I went into it sort of from the mindset of, I'm going to observe, I'm going to get in the ocean and observe what's there. I'm not going to actively participate, but I'm just going to sort of watch and try to figure out what the field of play is, so I can understand how I'm supposed to navigate this environment that I've never navigated before. And I think that's fair. Like, I don't think many children play sports without first watching them. Mm-hmm. And if they were, like, if you were to gear a kid up with hockey skates and a stick and throw him on the ice, and he had never skated, never even watched a hockey game, it would be a perilous environment for him, right? Or football, same thing. But at least if they watch for a little bit, they go, oh, here's how you move. Oh, this is what they do. Oh, they're chasing a puck. Oh. And so one of the things that I noticed, so one of my friends had told me, he's like, get ready to really question your confidence and like lose your self-worth through these apps. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, like you're gonna have so many experiences that make you question who you are and whether or not you're likable or lovable or relatable or funny or not funny or something's wrong with you. And he's like, it's gonna really, really mess with you. And I don't think it did to the degree that he thought it would. I sort of was a little bit dismissive. I was like, well, I'm a pretty confident person. I have a lot going for me. I bring a lot to the table, so I'm not really worried about people just dismissing me and treating me like trash or anything like that. And then I experienced the dating app world. And I'm actually glad that he told me that going in. So I knew I I guess, knew to expect it so that I could manage it and actually not lose any self of